Yes. Okay. Well, look, let's come back to Scotland then. And last Thursday, I think it was, you were at a comedy event which got cancelled.
It did. So here we have edgy comedy is back, it says. Well, not exactly. This is Comedy Unleashed. And again, not exactly, because this was in Edinburgh, the home of the Enlightenment and of the Edinburgh Festival. And it didn't go entirely according to plan. So it was meant to be Mary Bork, Dominic Frisby, Alistair Williams, Graham Linehan, and Bruce Devlin as compere. And then the venue, the Arches in Leith, they cancelled. And what they said was, we'd like to thank the public for bringing to our attention about, they haven't worded it terribly well, I apologise about the English, about a comedian who has been booked for an upcoming comedy show at our venue this Thursday, which we, quote, which we, block capitals, were not made aware of until today via emails from rightly so outraged members of our community. We do not support this comedian or his views, and he will not be allowed to perform at our venue and is cancelled from Thursday's comedy show with immediate effect. So there's no doubt that this is cancel culture. I mean, they're not hiding it. This is cancelling. So I got an email from the organiser because I bought a ticket, and the email said, well, we're going to try and get another venue. We'll let you know, and we'll send you secret information about where we're going to meet to listen to this comedy, this edgy comedy, at 3:30 on Thursday. So 3:30 on Thursday, I duly got an email in, and it said, tonight's gig will be held in the open air outside the Scottish Parliament building. Our replacement venue also cancelled the booking. We've had a frantic day trying to find a third venue. We nearly got the City Council debating chamber, but they didn't have enough staff at such short notice. We can't find a single venue that will host our lovely little Comedy Unleashed gig. We're going to do it in the street. So there we go. Now, there was a lot of media attention. The press in Scotland were lame about this. I mean, they couldn't find a shiver ran around looking for a spine to run up, but they didn't find one. They couldn't find anything meaningful to say. We did have comment from the Telegraph, which is a little more to point. Michael Deacon said, cancelling Graham Linehan proves that the word inclusive has lost all meaning. And he points out that this is one in a long line of English words to reverse its meaning. It now seems that inclusive means excluding people. Well, there we go. And we have a little clip that I recorded of Graham Linehan at the comedy show.
Listen, I do have scattered other jokes, but probably should have said that. I should have pretended that was it. But I don't know. It's been such a strange day that I think I'll leave it there. But I just wanted to say, first of all, I'm really sorry that you got messed around today. As you can tell, despite the animal cruelty, there's not really much to these jokes apart from, it's just insane. I mean, I've been fighting this stuff for 5 years, and I've never seen anything as insane as the last 2 days. And I keep asking people what I've said wrong and what I'm saying wrong in this fight about women's spaces, about children being mutilated and sterilised in gender clinics, and about the women who are being harassed and threatened, for standing up to. Is, the comedy is something, it's my first love, it's something I love to do, but I've not been allowed to do that for 5 years. And this is just what I decided I would do to keep the dough on the wall. Coming to silly jokes, and they can't even let me do that.
We've got your back, Graham, don't worry.
I know you do, and it really helps. So anyway, yeah. So now that I've just completely killed the atmosphere for the next meeting, which was sort of the plan, to be honest, I will take my leave. But I will hang around, and I hope to see you all for a drink after. And thank you very much for.
Now, of course, we should say, David, that it's not just comedy. I mean, in this case, this is the Edinburgh Festival, which is supposed to be a sort of fringe. It has a fringe. It's supposed to be a kind of edgy thing in itself, but you're not allowed to be edgy anymore. But it's not just comedy which gets cancelled. Peace rallies get cancelled. Other political commentary gets cancelled. It's time, isn't it, for people from various areas that are experiencing this to start getting together and cooperating?
Yes, I mean, films get cancelled, documentaries get cancelled, academic lectures get cancelled. These are all being viewed as unacceptable hate speech. Right? So here you have Graham Linehan came very much from the political left. When I first came across him, he was generally speaking against on platforms like Twitter, against people who you might describe as edgy, and was really extremely mainstream and protecting the left-wing consensus view very largely. But like many people from the political left, it got to a point where he said, no, this isn't right. So he started to speak out against the mutilation of children and gender reassignment surgery, and against the invasion of women's spaces and sports and all that goes with it. And they have absolutely turned on him. And likewise, in people in so many other fields, that the ability to speak is being eroded. And if you don't like Graham Linehan, okay, but they will come for you too. One of the things that got cancelled this week was lesbian speed dating, because the lesbian speed dating organiser objected to a man with an erection in a purple latex suit turning up and said, we're not going to have that again. It caused trouble. No men. The lesbian speed dating is only for women. So that got cancelled. And there was many complaints made to that woman's employer that she should be essentially dismissed from her employment as well because of her unacceptable hate speech, because they will come for your job, they'll come for your reputation, they'll come for everything unless you cry uncle and comply with the ideology.
Yes. Okay. Brilliant. David, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on. If you like what we do and you'd like to support the UK column, please head over to community.ukcolumn.org. Your membership, very much welcome and appreciated. You could pick something up at the UK column shop, but please do share material you find on the various platforms, especially ukcolumn.org and ukcolumnextracts.co.uk. Now, we've got some advertisements for some material on the UK column website at the moment. I want to highlight this article from Dr. Phil Bevan. Does the recruitment of leftist anarchists to fight in Anglo-American proxy wars amount to an Operation Gladio Mark II? Now, the first criticism we've had of this, of course, is to suggest this is Operation Gladio Mark II, because there have been many other potential operations that might have been parallels with the original Operation Gladio. But nonetheless, the point here is that so-called leftist anarchists are getting involved in Syria, they're getting involved in Ukraine, they're very much involved in political activity in the UK as well, and with connections to Integrity Initiative in the past and so on. So this is going to be the first in possibly a series of articles here, so do have a read of this and please share it as widely as you possibly can. David, we have another article here, In the Absence of Order.
Yes, so this was by Colin Robertson, and it was looking back at the life of Sinead O'Connor, and it was an extremely thoughtful and moving and compassionate piece that looked realistically at her life, but found a great deal to say that was, I think, of benefit to many people, and it was beautifully written. So I would encourage people, if they haven't already seen that article, to look it out. It's in the comments section on our main webpage.
Thank you for that. And Mark, your article on the Bilderberg Group is up.
Yeah, that's a picture I took there in Switzerland in 2011, Bilderberg Global Mafia. That's certainly close enough. And of course, the headline, Bilderberg Beyond the Meetings, Part 1, Big Tech and Big Media Interests busily branching out. The big tech interest is Palantir and AI mainly, and the big media is Axel Springer, which is trying to make big inroads into American digital media, according to The Economist, which is also a Bilderberg publication. So give it a read. We're not just looking at the meetings. That can be a dead end at times, or at least rather bewildering. So looking at what the Bilderberg entities are actually doing in real time, year round, is much more instructive.
Thank you, Mark. Now, tomorrow at 1 p.m., we've got an interview going out featuring Leon Cryer, and this is the second interview on architecture that Brian has done with Leon Cryer, so do keep an eye out for that. And David, Rally for Peace and Freedom.
Yes, so this is in Glasgow Green on Saturday. So I hope people will come along to that. There are many speakers there, and we're going to be talking about the need for peace. And amongst other things, we're going to be quite critical of NATO and what NATO has become.
And so just to clarify, is that taking place in the open air because the venue was not possible?
Well, it is taking place in the open air. I think that's more out of choice, or maybe out of poverty. I'm not quite sure, but we're in the open air on Glasgow Green. So please find us there.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, let's move on.